So honestly, our income is a bit lower these days and I'm kind of feeling it. So here's how we're budgeting for a lower take-home pay. Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. Here on my channel we talk about life and money and how you can enjoy life while still accomplishing financial goals through the use of a budget. And I love all things budgeting, so I share my actual household budget here on the internet. Today I'm sharing our October 2021 budget with me, showing you all the income that we plan to bring in this month and how we plan to spend that money. But let's take a look at our budget for this month of October. So the budget template that I'm using is one that you can get yourself on my shop. I will have a link to that as well in the description box down below. And it's an instant download, works in Excel, Google Sheets, numbers, all the things. It's an instant download. And this is the budget template that I use every single month for my budget. So the first thing that we have here is our income. So we have Jacob's income and then my business income. And then we have an extra paycheck amount. So if you're new around here, my husband Jacob works in marketing and he works fully remote for his job. He started this job in June, and before at his previous job, he was paid twice a month. And now at his new job, he's paid every other week, which means that 10 months of the year, he gets 2 paychecks a month, and then 2 months of the year, he gets 3 paychecks. So before, we've just kind of thought of this as like the 10 months of the year, that'll be like our main budget, but then 2 months of the year it's like a bonus paycheck, and then we get to use that for extra financial goals. And that's how we've done it, and it was fine before. But I'm changing that for this month going forward, and I'll explain a little bit more why. But first off, we also have my business income. So I stay at home with my son Peter, and I also run my business here on YouTube. When you are an entrepreneur like myself running your own business, there are high months and there's low months. And the beginning of the year were some really high months for me. And the last couple of months have honestly been pretty low. And it's hard, when you are making less than what you were before. But I also am so grateful and amazed that I've built this business over the years, and the amount of money that I made for my business in the last month, even though it was a lower amount, 2 years ago I would have dreamt to make that much for my business. And the other great thing is that with Jacob's income, we're able to cover everything that we need in our budget, and we're able to live and do all the things off of Jacob's income. And mine with my business has just helped to additionally fund, investment things or fun things. And also with my business this year, I'm making more money this year for my business than I did last year. I'm making more money for my business this year than I did at my day job that I previously had. So it's okay. And I just know that there's higher months and lower months. So therefore, the amount of money that I'm bringing home from my business this month is a bit lower. I keep all this blocked out for privacy for, Jacob's employer and things like that. But I'll share a video sharing all my business income stuff at the end of the year once we wrap up. But all I just say, yeah, business has been a little bit slower recently, but I'm not that worried about it because I know that there's highs and lows, and also it's relieving to know that Jacob's income is very steady. So all that to be said, I've created this new line item called extra paycheck amount. So the purpose of this is to take those 2 extra paychecks that we'd get, throughout the year. Like I said, 2 months of the year, we'd get 3 paychecks for Jacob's employer. It's basically to take that amount of those paychecks and spread it evenly over the rest of the year. And that way we can have a more even budget every month rather than having 10 months of the year at a certain amount and then 2 months with an extra paycheck. Does that make sense? So I took the amount, the net take-home pay that Jacob would get from 1 paycheck, and I divided it by 6 because he gets 2 extra paychecks in the year. And I'm therefore adding that amount to this line item called extra paycheck amount. So I'm basically just moving money over from our, checking account float, or money that we have just floating in savings, and adding that to our household budget for the month. And then once we get to December is going to be a 3 paycheck month, I'm still going to budget exactly the way that I've done this. I'm not going to budget 3 paychecks. I'm going to budget 2 paychecks and then this extra paycheck amount, which is taking that extra paycheck, dividing it by 6, so to make it even throughout the whole year. So I'm going to see how this goes with budgeting this way for being paid every other week instead of twice a month. I'll keep you updated on it and see if it works for us. But I like this idea a little bit more because it gives us more money throughout all the other months, which means that our budget will also be more consistent month over month rather than having lower, big extra paycheck and then lower. Does that make sense? I hope that does. So that's what I'm doing here for this line item. We also have another line item called Other, and this is our child tax credit that we receive because we have a 15-month-old son named Peter. And so I'm sure that some of you are getting that credit as well. But the total income that we have budgeted for this month then is $6,300, which is pretty low for us recently. Another thing to consider is that other things taken out of my husband's paycheck are our health insurance and then 401k. We are maxing out Jacob's 401k this year, so that's $19,500 split between all of his, pays for the year. So that's over $1,600 a month that's going towards his 401k. So I have to remind myself that when I look at this to be $6,300, reminding myself we're putting $1,600 a month into the 401k. Like, that's huge. Like, that, I'm super excited that we're doing that. But therefore, their take-home pay is lower because of that. So just something to be aware of. Okay, so we use a zero-based budget, which means all of our income equals all of our expenses and money out. So now to show you where we plan to spend every dollar this month. First thing we have is our tithe. We are Christians and we believe in tithing, giving to our church and other organizations. So $630 going to that. We also support another organization called Africa New Life. We sponsor 2 children in Rwanda, and that is $78. And then we support an additional missions organization for $40. Then we have our mortgage. We live in Portland, Oregon. We own our home, and we've been here now for 2 years. And our mortgage includes principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and that is $2,220.50. As you can see, the take home here, the percentage of budgeted income is 35%, which is high. I like to keep this at 25%, but the thing to remember here is that we are putting an extra $1,600 a month towards our 401k. So you think if we had an extra $1,600, let's just say if this was $1,900, then we'd be at 28%. So that is a lot different. So you have to look at that percentage of budgeted income, to be after those unnecessary deductions that are coming out of your paycheck. Next we have is our HOA. We live in a neighborhood with a homeowners association, so that's $121.46 each month. And then water sewer is around $94, so just copy this over, $93.85. Natural gas is about $40 each month, and this will continue to go up as we're getting into fall and winter. But actually September and October should be pretty mild here in Portland, Oregon. This is what we use for heating our home as well as cooking, like our gas stove and things like that. Then we have trash. We pay trash every other month. This month is a trash month at $58.72. And then electric, we are budgeting $70 for electric. We have air conditioning, but central air, but obviously we're not going to be running that in September, October in Portland, but this also accounts for things that are left on our house, lights and things like that. Next we have is internet at $44.99, and then we have our phones at $109.59. That's for my cell phone and Jacob's. We have our car insurance here at $109.64 for both of our cars. And life insurance, we have a term policy on myself and Jacob for $52.89. We then have groceries at $4.50. The rule of thumb that I try to use is $150 per person per month. So since there's 3 of us, myself, my husband, and our 15-month-old son, Peter, then I'm budgeting $4.50 for groceries there. And then eating out at $1.50, which is pretty standard. Next we have is gas at $100 each month. We definitely are seeing this go up because price of gas has been going up, and we are driving a little bit more, even though my husband does work remotely and I, work from home and stay home with my son. But we are seeing that little bit of increase there in gas, so increase that in our budget as well. We also have $50 allocated for fun, anything fun that we want to do as a family. And then we have $100 as miscellaneous, anything random that may come up during the month. We have another special line item this month, birthday, and this is kind of where every extra dollar has gone, every extra penny has gone in our budget to birthday. So Jacob is actually turning 30 this month in October, which is crazy. So excited, and we want to celebrate him and do that. So $100 here is what we will allocate for his birthday. Next we have is Peter. So we put $50 a month into a brokerage account for our son Peter, and it's a brokerage account that's in our name, but our plan is to be able to use the money in that account to be able to gift things to Peter when he's older. So we'd love to be able to help him with purchasing his first car when he's, in high school, and then also help him with a wedding or a down payment on a house. And so we just want to be able to save this money that we can use for generosity purposes for him later on, And the point of that too is that we want him to be also working on those things. Like we want him to be able to save towards a car, and we want to help him with that. So that is what we have there. We also have his college money that's getting sent out. So we put $200 a month into Peter's 529 college savings plan. So those are all of our normal expenses, the money that gets taken out of our bank account to go to our other things, and that is at $4,870.28. Now to move into the savings section of the budget. So we have, first off, our emergency fund. Our emergency fund is fully funded, so we're not going to put anything in it there. Now we have our fun money. Jacob gets $250 a month as personal spending money that he can do whatever he wants with. And then I get $100. And the reason why it's different is just because Jacob is more of a spender and prefers to spend money on his hobbies. I really am not a spender, and so I would rather put money towards other financial goals. So I have $100, he gets $250. Then we have extra giving at $50 each month. This allows us to be able to say yes to additional giving opportunities when they come up. And then $50 a month for gifts. So any sort of like baby shower or wedding or someone's birthday. And then clothing at $50 as well. Next we have is vacation. I'm not putting anything into vacation this month because things have just been a bit tight for our budget, and we also don't have any vacations in the works. So I was putting $400 a month into vacation, but we actually do have some money in this fund. I have it blacked out because I haven't showed you yet our September budget report, so stay tuned for that. But I don't really think that we should be putting money into this right now because the budget has been so tight this month. Because of that reduction of income. And again, the reduction of income of like, we could have an extra $1,600 that we are putting to our 401k and, be able to do those things, but we're making investing a much greater focus. So we're going to say no for vacation for right now. Next we have is Christmas. We're putting $100 a month into our Christmas fund to be able to have all of our Christmas money ready to go when Christmas rolls around, which is just 2 months away, you guys. So start saving if you haven't yet. Next we have is medical. We put $25 a month into a medical fund. And then cord blood registry. We did cord blood banking through cord blood registry when Peter was born, and we love the whole experience. And it has an annual fee each year at Peter's birthday. So I'm just saving the cost over the year, and then when it comes due in May, then I'll have the money set aside. Then we have car maintenance at $75 a month and house maintenance at $400. So this will cover any sort of bigger repair that, or any repair or maintenance that we need to do on either our house or our car. Next we have is household at $100. This covers things like toilet paper, paper towels, soap, detergent, toiletries, those sorts of things. And then we have $100 going towards baby. So this covers diapers, wipes, toys, clothing, baby necessities, like anything for Peter, which he's a toddler now. And then we have our brokerage account, which I don't have any money going to hit this month. So this has been the thing that we've been putting every extra dollar to. But like I said, this month is kind of slim, so we don't have anything extra to really put to that. As you can see here, we have our total savings items. We have $1,300 going into savings, and so our total out is over $6,200. But this line item, we need to make a change in our budget here. This line item is calculating the difference between all the money out versus our income, because that is what a zero-based budget is, means every dollar's been allocated. As you can see here, I have $98.72 listed, so I'm actually going to put that towards Jacob's birthday because we're wanting to do something with friends, and then I also want to get him something good for his birthday. Big 30, right? So I'm going to add that extra to his birthday line item for the month and see how that goes. So that's our budget for the month. It's not exactly where I want to be, but I'm not freaking out because I know that with my business, with being an entrepreneur, you have times of feast and famine. And there's just been a few months recently that it's been a little bit lower, and I'm hoping that things will pick up soon and that'll be different. But I'm still so grateful because Jacob's income with his job is able to cover everything that we need, and basically the income that I have is able to go towards other fun savings things and investing, and yeah, it all works out. So I'm not stressed, and I'm grateful for where we are. I also want to thank you so much for all of your support. When you guys purchase a budget template, that helps me immensely with my business, so thank you for that. Thank you so much for hanging out and for watching this video, and I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.
I once felt